Hello, 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 and welcome to today's episode of Her Version. This podcast is dedicated to sharing stories of struggle to triumph, a platform that allows individuals to tell their truth in order to inspire and uplift others. For those of you that are new to this podcast and like content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button, follow, like, and share. I am your host, Sabrina Victoria. Let's jump right in. Thank you so much for being here. For those of you that are already jumping on live, I see you. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out with us today. If you're watching us on the replay, make sure you hashtag replay so that we know that you were here and we can send you some love. The Her Version platform is built on storytelling and the understanding that many times our greatest learning experiences come from listening to other people's stories. Today, I am speaking with an amazing woman named Kayla. Kayla's journey of resiliency, healing, and regeneration has led her to her mission, which is to be the change that our world needs by taking transformative action with like-minded individuals for one single purpose: to change lives. Kayla believes that recovery is really a journey of discovery because the greatest thing you have to offer in life is your authentic self. And you are worth knowing. I am so excited to welcome Miss Kayla today. Welcome, lady. How are you? Definitely. All a learning process. My son just turned 18.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he in March, and he just graduated from high school like last month or whatever it was. So definitely, I can't even believe it. I can't even, like, I look back and I'm like, I still remember when you were in my belly. Like, I feel like you were just in my belly like last year. And somehow 18 years has gone by. It's insane. But the cool thing about your story that I can relate to is the closeness of you and your son. I can relate a lot to that. Um, I joke sometimes as far as doing it. My stories. I was in and out of some relationships here and there, but I've always considered myself a single mom because even when I was with somebody, it was basically still a single mom because they weren't doing anything for me. But so insane. But the bond of a mother and a son can be so special. And my son and I still, even though he's 18, we're still so close. We still send heart emojis to each other, and he still hugs me, and he still kisses me, and he still tells me he loves me, and still takes all my calls. And it's really awesome knowing that showing up in love, showing up in love is all there is.
Yeah.
All there is. So, there's this, I don't know necessarily, your story, but I had all this pressure of having to like provide according to what society is telling me to provide. So all the latest gadgets and toys and games, and I didn't have the means to be able to do that. And feeling the guilt because of that was very heavy on me. But I ignored a lot of that. I didn't go into stores. I continued to show up in love and like time, spending lots of time. And who knows, there could still be trauma. He could end up like at 32 years old, glued to the TV playing games or something because mom didn't have that when he was 16. I don't know. But I think that the way that you're doing it is the best way. And open communication, working on your personal development in order to communicate with them better. I mean, that's really all there is. They don't need all that extra.
Agree. Completely agree. I think that you hit it like right on the nail because my son doesn't care about all of that material. Like, he just wanted me. Like,
Yeah.
he would trade it in a heartbeat for
Yeah.
just time with mom, you know? And I think that the one thing that we maybe lack right now, and I think this is why a lot of the young people are struggling, is there are so many distractions from that actual connection and that love that's so needed in a home, you
Yeah.
know? And when you think of like where people grow and have, you know, challenges and this and that, and it's not to say that like, you know, in life, like anyone, right? Like, it doesn't matter where you come from or whatever, can experience some sort of challenges with learning who they are, self-worth and all that stuff. But I just think that like one thing for sure is I want my child to grow up knowing like that you are one, he is loved, like, you know, by me, like I love him, but two, that like he was worth my time, right? Because the time is more valuable than any of that, right? Like we
Yeah.
can't get it back. We can't, you know, none of that. And so the time aspect and being intentional
Yeah.
with that is, I think, the most important, like parenting 101, you know?
Yeah. 100%. You've got it. So we have a pretty hefty audience listening here live. I want to say thank you to the audience who's here hanging out with us, listening to Kayla and her awesome journey that she's been on. If you're watching us on the replay, again, to make sure you hashtag replay so that we know that you were here and listening to us. But Kayla, I want to ask, what do you do? The business that you're in, the community that you're help. I think it's so phenomenal, and I'd love for you to take some time to kind of share with us, you know, what you are doing for all the humans right now.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm super excited to talk about that because I certainly work for an amazing organization. We're a nonprofit, South Florida Wellness Network, located in Broward County. We service families, youth, and adults with any kind of substance use and or mental health challenge or are at risk. The beautiful thing about our agency is that everybody that works there, including the CEO that runs it, has lived experience with either substance use or mental health or both. And so we have like a plethora of an incredible team of people that just guide, support, whether that's emotional support, linking to services, community-based services. We do a lot of workshops. We do a lot of educational trainings, and a lot of recovery events in the community of Broward County. We work within the jails. We work within all the provider network and the systems like Bark Detox and stuff like that. And we're really community based. So we actually, you can, you know, anybody can call and do a request for services to receive our services and get that support, that one-on-one support. We also have recovery navigators, which operate as individuals who also are peers. So they have that lived experience and they support people that are navigating through life, right? Like navigating recovery, like, you know, a lot of the time we work mostly with like the uninsured, the underserved, you know, population of people, which is my favorite population to work with, because they don't really have access to that type of care, like that quality care. Like when I think about like my privilege of being able to go to like this beautiful treatment center and have like just really quality care, really quality therapy and things like that. And I like my heart is heavy because I know that there's not always that same opportunity for people. So we really try to provide that and remove barriers for people to get access to care so that they can champion their own life, so that they can rise above, you know, their challenges and become that testimony that's then changing lives as well. Our new center, which is going to be in Hollywood, has been my project, and it's a recovery community center. So we always have like a wellness center, right? And that's where we do like a lot of our workshops. Like we do some really fun things, really creative things. We have like Grow in Your Boots was a workshop we did last weekend where people took like old shoes and like painted them and created plants out of them, which was super awesome. We do like Cricut stuff, making different like make and takes, body scrubs where you create your own body scrub. We're actually in the South office. We have all kinds of music stuff and podcasting stuff because my idea is to really be able to engage the youth, the young people that are out there that really need that support, really need a safe place to go where they can not only, you know, do things to champion their wellness and express themselves, but grow in leadership and mentoring and things like that. So the South office, we are going to have a music studio. We have all this equipment. We have all these instruments. We've really made it super fun. We have pool tables and gaming stuff and dartboards and all kinds of stuff to kind of really engage the youth and let them know that they can not only just hang out here and like have fun, but that we can also do some, developing them and champion them and helping them. I started working in the youth programs because I love young people. And I will have to say, like, I think my lived experience, but then also being a mom and like going through my son's experiences and his healing and supporting him through all of that has given me so much passion to come alongside some of these young kids that don't have that. Like, we work with kids that don't have parents. They're in group homes, they're homeless, they're in foster care in the system. And it's like, man, like they just need somebody to champion them, to believe in them, a place to come to really be able to express themselves and receive the support that they need. So we do that here at South Florida Wellness Network, amongst so many other things. We also have a street outreach team. And so we're really big on Narcan distribution. We go out into the community. We responded to a lot of the spring break overdoses that were happening. And so we were going out and actually out with the spring breakers, and handing out Narcan. And we made it fun. We made these awesome shirts, test your supply before you get high. And it really wasn't about like, hey, like we want you to step into recovery. It was more about like, hey, we just want to educate you. There's fentanyl that's flooded in all the drugs in Broward County. You're out here, maybe having a good time. Just be really careful. Have you ever heard of naloxone? This will actually, save a life. It'll reverse a drug overdose. And so you may not do drugs, but you never know. You might be in a club and something happened, because actually while we were out there, like we were training clubs and bars and different restaurants, because they were like, oh my gosh, where were you? We had an overdose last week, and it was just the response from the community. And we handed out like glow bracelets and we put the Narcan on there, and just like really being able to support lives being saved, because that's like really what the reality is we need to do more harm reduction, because there's so much going on right now in our community with fentanyl being laced in so many of the drugs, like marijuana even now, which is insane, and cocaine.
Why are they doing that? Like, I don't know much about it, but I've heard. Yeah, what is fentanyl? Why are they doing that?
So fentanyl is an opioid, but it's like extremely potent. It's like a man-made thing. It's people can get it so cheap, like drug dealers, but it is extremely addictive. And so a lot of people that have like an opiate use disorder, like maybe they started with using like, Percocets in some kind of pill form and then switched to heroin. Well, now like you don't even find heroin on the streets. It's all fentanyl. And drug dealers are cutting like their cocaine and like putting it in marijuana. And I asked myself the same thing, like, why are people doing this? I know that they can get it a lot cheaper. So I don't know if that's it, but I know several people that, bought drugs, cocaine, because they were like a social user, right? Like they're coming down to party, whatever, bought a bag of cocaine, overdosed and almost died because there was fentanyl in it, And so to me, like, that's like super alarming. And that's what happened with the spring breakers that came down here. So we just wanted to kind of educate people, because we sit on a lot of the community response team meetings and the DEAs in there and first responders, to try to really like help the community with the this opioid epidemic that we're in. Because so many lives are being lost. But Narcan is definitely saving a lot of lives as well. And we started a BSO pilot program where we actually we co-respond with police officers anytime that they have a call and it's somebody that's substance use or mental health, to try to engage that person in services and support, which has been pretty amazing. We've been able to service it like over 150 people since January, and it's at like a 67% success rate. So it's been amazing. And we have such an incredible team of people that are just really out there trying to, save lives and just support people the best they can to get into their recovery journey or wellness journey, whatever that looks like. But South Florida Wellness Network is about meeting people where they're at. So we're going to meet you where you're at. We're going to come with that love. We're going to come with resources. We're going to come with support, and we're going to come with engagement. And we are just, that's who we are. And we just definitely want to see more change in the community and support the recovery movement.